Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to pre-market session for August 25th. Good morning. Good morning, Eliel. Sarah Objective. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so let's take a look at the economic events very fast. First of all, we have consumer confidence at 10 a.m. today. So that's going to be an important event for the whole market. Okay, so be careful around 10 a.m. If you have any open position, you want to manage your position, and ideally you don't want to open a position 1-2 minutes before or after 10 a.m. and wait for the volatility to settle and then take positions. Now, another important event for this week is going to be NVDA's earning, which is going to be tomorrow after market close. So the trade will probably be on Thursday, Friday this week. Today, after in the after hours, we are gonna have Zoom's earning, and tomorrow also we're gonna have CrowdStrike and CRM, Salesforce as well. Some of the important names on watch for the week. Okay, so I want to go ahead and check out the overall market, and we'll go over a couple of tickers worth watching for the day as well. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at S&P 500. So SPY had a very interesting retest of 761-ish zone in the last 2-3 days. We broke all-time high. If you remember, again, as a reminder, this is post FOMC price action back in July 31st and July 30th, 31st, and then August 3rd. This was the post FOMC price action. The price pushed all the way higher in a massive three massive green trading days, and then finally we saw a consolidation. Now we're seeing a pullback down till 760.61. So seems like this pullback is holding. The bid is holding 760.61 at least for now. Now above this zone we have obviously a resistance, which is going to be the 768, 769 zone that kind of held previously as a demand zone and rejected recently in the last 2 days. And if we break out of this 768, 769-ish zone and hold this level, there is a high chance of seeing SPY going higher for 773 and 777. And consumer confidence could have the power to create this, be this catalyst and create this move for the market. If not, tomorrow we have GDP, and on Friday Kevin Warsh is going to speak at 10 a.m. as well. So there are a couple of events in the market that might move the overall market. Another big one would be obviously NVDA, right? That has the power to move the market because of its insane market cap, right? So anyway, so we can see potentially SPY breaking out of this zone, and the other scenario clearly would be a breakdown below this 760. Now that is a demand zone that we are holding, right? And this is demand zone. And yeah, the whole 760 all the way up till this 762.3 zone that it is holding, that it was holding yesterday, would be the main demand zone on SPY. Now when we're zooming into hourly chart, it's very clear that we have this resistance zone of 768, 769, and then this demand zone that held held here, and the price is kind of holding in this range. If we break through this resistance zone, we could go for 773, right? And then we can go for at all-time high of 777, 780 on SPY. Okay, so Qs. Let's take a look at Qs here. Qs was lagging the whole time. S&P 500 hit all-time high post FOMC, while Qs had this move and hit 727, 28, and then it started consolidating. Now this whole zone is a zone that price rejected multiple times in the last few months, right? Since May 2026, then June, then here in July, right? We saw a lot of rejections, and this is the same rejection we're seeing from the same exact level of 734.35 on Qs. We rejected, pulled back down, and the price actually went below the moving averages and below the 50 SMA yesterday. So that created some selling pressure. The price pushed back lower, but the demand bounced back up. We kind of feel this gap that was here, post FOMC gap, right? From 700 till 708. This gap was almost filled yesterday, and now we're seeing a bounce back up on QQQ, right? So you see that this demand zone kind of held a gain, and these candles technically closed above on the 4-hour chart, above this whole demand zone, almost above this demand zone. And now we're seeing the price bouncing back up in the pre-market and retesting the 710.11 zone here. Now, if the price holds this 710.11 and start bouncing back up, getting above pre-market level, it is possible to see Qs, right? It is possible to see Qs up at 717 and then 719.20 as the next major levels, and it will be a bounce here, right? Above this zone, we could go for 719, 720, which would be the next main resistance zone. The next one after that would be 727.28. On NASDAQ, SMH was really weak. This was a beautiful breakdown, a retest to this zone, a rejection, and then the sell-off. We talked about it multiple times in the last few days, and we're still holding below the moving averages, and it looks relatively weak, a lot weaker than S&P 500 or NASDAQ so far. We are bouncing above this level of 544 now, and seems like the next resistance zone would obviously be this 567. Seems like the price is holding 553.4, 554-ish zone, and if it keeps holding this zone, we're gonna basically see a possible bounce. We'll see if it happens up to this 550.67. That would be the main resistance, and if that breaks, we could go for 580 on SMH. To the downside, we need to reject these zones that we are basically trading in the pre-market, break down below 550.23, and then the target would be around 540, and then we will gonna need to wait for the reaction of the price around this 530.40 zone, which is a demand zone. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of tickers. Apple is just again stuck in this range, not interested. Want to see Apple above this whole zone. Tesla had a really strong move on Friday. We caught it and hit the 50 SMA on the daily chart and rejected that zone, right? So we saw Tesla pushing higher on Friday, fill this gap that was created post earning, and didn't fill the whole gap, hit 366, 50 SMA on the daily chart, and then yesterday on Monday, the price rejected. We're still holding above the main demand of 345, 340, this demand zone. But this was a relatively strong rejection on SPY. Now, the key demand will still be 345, 340, this zone on SPY, and I want to keep it like this. Right, this zone would be the main demand zone on SPY. On Tesla, and if we keep holding this zone, that would be a signal for a possible continuation on this move. We might need to consolidate for a couple of days again, but technically right now the price is stuck in a range, a resistance of 366, 368, and the demand of 340, 45, 350. This demand zone, it has been holding in the last 2 weeks, and this resistance is a strong resistance on Tesla, clearly a very strong resistance historically, and we have the 50 SMA. So if this level breaks, we're going to see Tesla pushing all the way higher, at least to 380, 385, and that would be an interesting setup. If we break down below 345, 340, especially below this 340, well, we might see some sort of massive sell-off. On the weekly chart, we are seeing Tesla just retested the moving averages on the weekly chart and retested this zone. It is kind of rejecting this area, and this might lead the price pushing all the way lower. On the monthly chart, we are below the 9 and 21 EMA on the monthly chart as well. So we have a big resistance above us on Tesla. If it breaks, it's going to be a very interesting and strong break in my opinion. And if it rejects below 340, 335 on watch. NVDA has earning tomorrow, so yeah, I won't suggest taking any trades on NVDA because it has earning tomorrow, but post earning definitely it would be a name on watch, depending on the earning, depending on whether it can beat earning revenue, what's the guidance. It can be definitely on watch. It will be on watch for a lot of traders. Google pretty flat, AMD flat, AMD below 452 on watch. If you want, you can watch it above 485, 86 as well. Not the most interesting price action. Intel was interesting yesterday, right? It broke down below this 89.90 zone and sold off, and then finally the buyers reclaimed the level. Now we're seeing the price is holding right at 90-ish zone. If it keeps holding 90, we could go for a retest of 94, and then that is where we have the major resistance, which is the 921 EMA on the daily chart, right? But if it holds, we could go for a quick bounce here, and you want to remember that Intel is relatively weak on the technicals. Clearly, we are rejecting the resistances and forming lower highs. And with this push higher, you're technically trading against this trend, and you have a major resistance around this 94-95 area on Intel. Meta held this demand zone again. Okay, so we are retesting 567, 68. That is the resistance zone that it needs to break out. If it breaks, we could go for 578, 579, 580. In case of rejection and pushing lower and retesting 558, breaking down below this zone, we could go down for 540 again. But this is a very strong demand zone here. The whole 540 down to 518, 520 would be a massive demand zone on Meta. But Meta on watch above this zone for a possible retest of 578. MU, yeah, it's just getting back to this choppy zone in my opinion. Again, still I like MU above 1000 or below this 800 90 Microsoft. Beautiful consolidation hold. I like the overall hold and the presence of demand on Microsoft's price action. The price never went below 577.76, and the bid is there holding the price. And yeah, this 490.95 on watch on Microsoft for a possible continuation and squeeze above this zone. And in case it breaks down, gets below 477, it is still a very interesting setup because we have a gap to fill. Okay, so yeah, Microsoft definitely on watch. We definitely need to see it above 494, 495, and ideally above 500 for a possible continuation, bullish continuation. Amazon, yeah, it is just consolidating right at this demand zone. The main zones on watch would be 258. If it breaks down, there's a massive gap, and 266 to 67 as the main resistance zone. In case it breaks, we're gonna possibly see Amazon up till 270.72, and then if that breaks, we're gonna go higher to 278. PLTR just consolidating. Keep it on watch below this 168, 165, or above 180.81. A couple of other names on watch for this week would be CRM, as I already explained. It has earning in 2 days, so we'll take it. We'll take in a day, basically tomorrow, and also CrowdStrike, CRWD, which is going to be on watch for the next couple of days. Now, since the crypto names are just relatively volatile, Coin and Hood could be some interesting names on watch for today as well, if you're interested in taking these setups. So we have this we had this resistance of 102 on Hood. We broke out, and now we're retesting this zone. Keep this level on watch for a possible hold and possible bounce and continuation on Hood. It consolidated yesterday, and Coin also had like 2-3 consecutive green days and gapped up and hit almost 200 SMA on the daily chart. The reaction of the price around this 175, 176, definitely on watch. If it holds, right, if it holds this zone, a bounce above this level, on watch for a possible continuation and a retest of 198, 200-ish area. Okay. Yeah. With that being said, yeah, that's, I guess, it's all the names I wanted. So let me take a look at some. And TSM is pretty much the same. Yeah, that was pretty much it for the day. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys are watching for the day. So I will be going ahead and trade live with the team. As always, if you want to join us, you can check out the link in the description and come and join us and trade live with us.